Gambiram Daduschamitabhajanam. Chant. Iti te ksheditaistasya Asubhavagam hiram Ishchantabhajanam. Shishuka vacha Iti te ksheditaistasya Shushra Jahasubhavagam hiram Aduschamitabajanam. Iti te ksheditaistasya Asasya Gambiram Ishchamitabajanam. Ladies? Shishuka vacha Ite ksheditaistasya Shtamanasasya Shasapapakam hiram Aduschamitabajanam. Sukavacha Ite ksheditaistasya Ashwastamanasosuvaha Shasapavagam hiram Aduschamitabajanam. Shri Shukavacha. Shri Shukadeva Goswami said, Iti, thus, te, those demons, Shvelithai, by speaking as if jokingly, Dasyaha, of Mohini Murti, Ashwasta, grateful with faith, Manasaha, their minds, Asuraha, all the demons, Jasu, laughed, Bhavagambiram. Although Mohini Murti was full of gravity, Dadahu, delivered, Cha, also, Amritabhajanam, the container of nectar. Translation. Sri Shukadeva Goswami continued, after the demons heard the words of Mohini Murti, who had spoken as if jokingly, they were all very confident. They laughed with gravity, and ultimately they delivered the container of nectar into her hands. Purport. Personality of Godhead in his form of Mohini was certainly not joking, but talking seriously with gravity. The demons, however, being captivated by Mohini Murti's bodily features, took her words as a joke and confidently delivered the container of nectar into her hands. Thus, Mohini Murti resembles Lord Buddha, who appeared Samohaya Sura Disham to cheat the Asuras. The word Suradvisham refers to those who are envious of the demigods or devotees. Sometimes an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead cheats the atheists. Thus we see here that although Mohini Murti was speaking factually to the Asuras, The Mohini Murti's the Asuras took her words to be facetious. Indeed, they were so confident of Mohini Murti's honesty, they immediately delivered the container of nectar into her hands, as if they would allow her to do with the nectar whatever she liked, whether she distributed it or threw it away or drank it herself without giving it to them. Mukam karti vachalam bhangam nangatekinim yapipandhamande shigurantiratarinam om agyana timirandasya gananja shakaya chakshuramitam yena tasarishi gurave namaha. So it's very interesting. We've been hearing a lot of verses here about the nature of women in this material world. And the Lord is actually telling these demons that, why are you trusting me? You shouldn't trust me, So this is what's happening in the material world. Of course, spiritually, when a woman surrenders to Krishna, then everything changes, and she can help you. I was living in Calcutta Temple, and one time Prabhupada was going on a morning walk, and a lot of sannyasis were with Srila Prabhupada, and they were saying bad things about the women. Oh, they're terrible, we shouldn't associate. And Prabhupada said, because we were in the temple and we were doing the puja, we were adjusting the deities, we were cleaning his room, doing everything. And Prabhupada said, if you associate with these women, then you will advance in spiritual life. So he made a distinction between women in the material world and women in spiritual life. So actually, and of course, another theme here is that women need protection. So if a woman is thinking independently of without any authority, then this is how the men will see her. They're saying, oh, you're for me. And why not? And of course, before Kali Yuga, they didn't go after married women, but in Kali Yuga, it doesn't matter if you're married or not. They can be free. They will think, oh, yes, no, I can take her, yes. And this has happened. This is happening in Kali Yuga, that a woman may leave a good husband. So we have heard in a previous verse that Chanaka Pandit is quoted, never put your faith in a woman or a politician. So Srila Prabhupada, he used to tease Jamuna Devi, my god sister, and he would quote this verse, don't trust a woman or a politician. And she said, yes, Srila Prabhupada, this is from the scripture, it's true. So then Vishaka, who is a little bit more argumentative, she said, you really believe that? How do you believe that? She said, yeah, I really believe it. And Vishaka said, how do you believe that? And Jamuna said, because 50% of the population are women and 50% are politicians. And that's how I believe it. So yeah, there we go. I know I was also in Calcutta Temple and I was with Gargamuni, and he also quoted this to me. He said, never trust a woman or politician, and you're both. Because I had to negotiate with him to get things for the deities all the time. And so, and I said, but I learned it all from you. Anyway, that was life in the old days in the temples. And so actually women need protection. This is, I see that because the women are, it is said, less intelligent. What is the less intelligence is that they believe the men. When the men tell them, oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, I'm going to marry you. In India, there's another line. In our astrology, you are my wife in our last life. But don't believe it. It's not. But they can cheat. They cheat because women are, kind of naive. Some women anyway, and they believe what the men say, and then they get in a relationship, and they get abused, and they stay in that relationship. So that's also less intelligent. And so women, they need protection. And of course, in ISKCON, we do take protection of the GBC, of Krishna, of the temple. But if a woman is out there all alone, then it's very important. And the mood of protection, what does it mean to protect? It doesn't mean you put somebody in a cage and say, okay, you're protected there, don't move. So that some people think like that, the woman is mine to enjoy, and she should just be in the kitchen cooking for me or in the bed enjoying with me. But that's not protection. Protection means you have a valuable jewel and you're going to keep it very carefully. And so the devotee has this mood that, oh yes, my wife is a valuable jewel and I don't want anything to happen to her. So the best thing is to offer her to Krishna and respect her. Prabhupada told the devotees the ladies should be respected as Lakshmi because they're all Lakshmi. And when I joined Boston Temple in 1970, we were not called Matajis. We were called Gopis. The gopis should sit here, and the men should sit here. Like, oh, I'm a gopi. Yeah, that's cool. So, because we belong to Krishna, we're Krishna's gopis. We belong to Krishna. So it was quite a nice atmosphere when I first joined the temple. So they didn't enjoy us because we belong to Krishna. And so I would like to talk about what is the proper protection of women. And I have some quotes here I'd like to share with you from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and how he saw Grihastha Ashram. So he said, the cardinal principle of Grihastha Ashram is no one may be the owner of any property or service of another. Everyone is only a servant whose activities are ever in the service of the Lord. And the sole object of everyone's service is the only master, only friend, only son, only consort, and that's Krishna. Then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, marrying and giving in marriage do not give rise to any rights of a master, either to husband or to the wife. Men and women get married for the purpose of serving each other and performance of joint service of Krishna. The wife is not an object of enjoyment of the husband, nor vice versa. They do not marry to gratify their sexual appetites. They marry for pleasing the Lord, not for pleasing themselves. And in the movement, when I first joined, it was okay, the Grihastha couples, they were joining. We were living in the temple with the brahmacharis. And we had to leave everything, actually. We had to leave our money, our house, whatever, anything we had, it went to the temple. And so then, we were really treated equally. And actually, we were the ones who were sent out to start a new temple. After a year, we learned how to distribute. In my time, was only Back to God magazines. And we learned how to give a lecture. We learned how to cook the Sunday feast. And out the door we went. They sent us to Jacksonville, Florida, without any money, and there we were. And I remember going door to door, selling magazines. One door I went to, and my yellow sheet. We didn't have saris; we had sheets. And one little child came to the door, and she went and told her mother, "Mother, there's an angel at the door." Mother didn't come. So then, anyway, so we were out there on our own. So many, I think also Priyatu Prabhu and his wife Rambaru, they were sent somewhere to start a temple. They didn't have any money or place to stay. And she was telling me she used to go door to door asking people if she could bake some bread in their oven because they didn't have a place, And this, I know another Grihastha couple, Rachitambra. She had a 4-year-old daughter, and she and her husband were sent in India to a farm. Someone donated a farm. They were sent out. There was no house on the farm. They were underneath a tree, husband and wife and child. But then rainy season came, and they were singing in the rain with their harmonium. And then one rich man came and saw them, and he built them a house. He gave them all grains and everything, and that's how it started. Ahmedabad farm. And so we were very austere in those days. I remember going for a visa from India. They sent us once to Burma. Now, Burma was a communist country, and we were Americans, and they sent us with no money, just a phone number. There was no temple. So we got a phone number of some Indian. He put us up in his shop in the loft, in the storage part of his shop, and we had no money. And because we were Americans, we had, if America, we could only stay 7 days in the country, or else we get put in jail. That was the rule of the communist Burma. And we were the first devotees everyone saw. And we had to get the money to get our return ticket. And we had to destroy our passport because there was an old visa and we wouldn't get a new one. And so put it in the wash, got a new passport, got a new visa all in 7 days, and collected for our return ticket. Well, that was the Grihastha ashram in the early days. But but now it's all different. Everyone's outside. They don't live in the temple. But anyway, that's how it is now. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said they choose for their partners only such persons who serve God better than themselves. They offer themselves to be accepted by their partners for the favor of being allowed to share in their superior service of Hari. Neither husband or wife should claim services of his or her partner on their own account. Okay. None of them can force their partners to serve them. The system of household discipline has its roots in joint worship of the household deity by all members of the household. And Prabhupada gave a lecture one time, and he said, my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, sent sannyasis out to preach, and he sent sannyasi, but they were not successful. They went to London, and they were not successful. But I sent grihastas, 3 grihastas. I think Janaki and Mukunda, Shamsundar, Malati, and baby, Saraswati. And there was Gurudas and Jamuna. They went to London. They met the Beatles. And they were top of the pops. The Hare Krishna mantra was the top record. So he said, so they succeeded. So he was Prabhupada just loved the grihastas and the preaching that they were doing. So then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta says, the reason why the Guru doesn't ordinarily ask any person to get married is it's very rare to find anyone in this world who is willing to regard his or her wife or husband as worthy of his or her unconditional services. So anyway, and on. It's very difficult. 5,000 years ago, the Pandavas were exiled to the forest with Draupadi, 5 Pandavas, Draupadi. And one time Lord Krishna and Satyabhama came and visited them in the forest. So Satyabhama asked Draupadi, how are you able to keep 5 husbands so submissive and obedient to you? How do you do it? What's your secret? Do you use makeup and dress? Or is it some mystic chant? Are you chanting something, mantra? Or is it a good result of all austerities you did? Or is it your youthful beauty? I'm asking you because I want to keep my dear Lord Krishna under control in the same way. And so, she's asking. And so Draupadi said, these are the methods of wicked women. You should know man can never be made obedient by such means. My secret is this. I've given up all sense of false prestige, personal desires for sense gratification, control my anger, and serve my husbands with great care and devotion. I don't think of bathing, eating, or sleeping until my husbands and servants have done so, and ready to rise up quickly at any hour to personally greet my husbands when they return home. And I do all my duties cheerfully without lethargy. So that was one part of her seva. Now let's hear the second part. as a queen, she had a lot of seva also, helping her husbands. So as a queen, she said, when they were at Indraprastha, Maharaj Yudhisthira used to feed thousands of Brahmins daily, and it was my duty to see their needs were properly taken care of. Food for life. She was doing food for life to thousands of people every day. And she said, I had 100,000 maidservants to assist me. I knew the names, faces, and capabilities of each and every one of them. I used to direct all these maidservants. Any complaints would be submitted personally to me. And beside the maidservants, I knew all the male servants and even the cowherds. Temple commander, that was Draupadi. She knew everyone. She knew the complaints. She got the complaints. So food for life, temple commander, 100,000 maidservants. Can you believe? And then all the men servants too. She knew all of them. And then that wasn't all. That wasn't all. She did one more thing. It was I alone who kept track of my husband's daily income and expenditure, so only I knew the totality of their wealth. So she was the treasurer and the accountant also. So unlimited wealth he had. So she was the treasurer, accountant, temple commander, and food for life. Plus she served 5 husbands, so just imagine doing that. If you were in the temple commander, food for life, with thousands and thousands of people helping you, and yeah, so this is Draupadi. So yes, so this is an example from the scriptures. She wasn't just sitting in the corner weaving baskets, or like some people would have us do, but no, she was out there. She was out there. And so in marriage, Prabhupada says, if a husband and wife, this will come in 6th canto, are attached to one another for advancement in Krishna consciousness, their relationship is very effective for such advancement. And so Vishaka Dasi, she gives us some advice about being compatible. You have to learn to live with your partner's faults. There's going to be faults. So you have to live with it. I mean, it's easy to live with the good qualities, but can you live with the weaknesses of the other person? So in the beginning, everyone's careful, they behave nicely, but after you become your real self, and you see actually who have I married? So the character flaws start to come out. You can't pretend anymore that you're perfect, pure devotee. So yeah. I had there's one example of one lady I know. She married an Indian and in Vrindavan. And before he was like the perfect devotee. After marriage, he was getting up late, wasn't chanting, watching movies. So there you go. He was pretending, but it didn't last. So we have to be careful. So Vishaka advises, we can wait, we can pray. I know there are examples in Bhakti Godhead of ladies, Indian ladies, and their husbands were drunkards and all sorts of things, but they were always very chaste, but they would pray for them at the temple, and these husbands turned around and became devotees. So there are such examples, but you have to be really strong to do that. And there are examples also of ladies marrying non-devotees. I know one, but he was, mode of goodness, vegetarian. And he also became a devotee, got initiated. And so these things can happen. So it's kind of a balance between satisfying ourselves and satisfying our partner. So we have to be aware of their desires and also our desires too. So we have to see what is best for everyone. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Lila, it's described that in Ramayana, when Lord Ram ordered his wife Sita, you don't come with me to the forest, you stay here. husband's order, you're supposed to follow. And she's the most chaste lady, but she didn't follow that order. She said, no, I'm coming with you. She had her own, she said, because you're my husband, I have to stay with you. I can't just sit in the palace. So she's one of the most chaste ladies, but she didn't listen to her husband, and she convinced her, my place is with you, Ram. And if she had just listened and didn't argue with her husband, then she would have been stuck in Ayodhya. So anyway, yeah, so you do have to see what is best for everyone. And Ram, he gave up his vision of a safe life for Sita so he could please her, allowing her to come with him. Another beautiful example of selflessness is in Krishna book. The Brahmana, Sudama's wife, said, please, please go to Krishna. She was pushing him, you have to go. He was in rags, he was sick, he was trembling, and there were holes in the roof. And she said, he will give you some, please go. And she was concerned for her husband, actually, and they didn't even have anything to give Krishna. So he went begging next door, and they had some unofferable chipped rice. So he took it, tied it in his dhoti. And then Krishna, of course, he took that, and he ate one bite, and Rukmini said, no more, no more. I have to become his servant if you eat more, because of the love of. So they were selfless. She was selfless. She just wanted the best thing for her husband because he was so sick. So sometimes if we're selfish, it means we can't hear the other person and their voice. So we have to consider everything thoughtfully. An introduction to Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada explains, our nature is to serve. In this world, everyone is giving service to someone. And that's our nature. And if we don't serve Krishna, then we have to serve so many things. And in Kali Yuga now, you can't, why do they come together and then they leave each other? Because it's only physical. They want some physical relationship. And it's very interesting. And when I was in Ireland, there was one visitor to the temple, and she showed us a post on the internet, and it says, I've been married for so many years, but I got a dog and my husband's allergic to the dog. So I have to rehome him. And she said, yes, he needs a good home. He's 48 years old. His name is John. He's an engineer, and he's a very good companion. She wanted to rehome the husband and not keep the dog. She wanted the husband to have a place to stay. She wanted to give away her husband to someone and keep the dog. And this lady who was speaking, she said, yeah, I got divorced. I kept the dog, but not the husband. So this is going on in Kali Yuga. They're not serious in their relationships. They're not serious at all. So yes, and you have to serve someone. And I did give this story in a previous class last week, and some of you may not have heard it, so I'll repeat it again. That shows how you have to serve. It's your nature to serve, and especially in marriage. So this happened 500 years ago. You may think times were different then. No, they weren't. So 500 years ago, there was an emperor, Akbar. He had a minister named Birbal. So one time, Birbal was late to the court of the king. And the king said, why are you late? He said, well, my wife told me I had to do this, this, and this. That's why I'm late. So the emperor said, you listen to your wife? He said, yes, everyone listens to their wife. Don't you know? So then the emperor said, prove it. And so he called all the men of the town in front of the palace window, balcony. And Birbal said, so whoever listens to their wife, go to this side. There was a stampede. Everyone went that side except one man. The emperor said, oh, you are very brave. Why didn't you go on that side? And he said, this morning my wife told me to avoid crowds. So he also, he also, he also, listened to his wife. And so yes, and so there are things that can be done in the relationship of marriage, and that is gratitude. If you're grateful to the husband, to the wife, then that will help a lot. And then honor each other as Krishna's devotees, and thinking, oh, my wife is Krishna's property, and she's not mine. And that's actually very important, because I know another failed marriage. And this lady, she was very desperate to get married. And so after getting married, her husband said to her, so um, now you don't listen to your guru. I'm your guru. I'm your spiritual master. You don't listen to your guru anymore, because I'm the one. Of course, the marriage, they had 2 daughters, but then they split up. And in his old age now, he's saying, yes, it's actually, I'm not the controller. So it didn't go the way he wanted with him, his wife, or the daughters. So yes, this is, we have to be careful. So marriage is like a fortress, is described in Bhagavatam, and the wife is protecting the husband from any problems. Yeah, I know some people on the internet. I know 2 cases. The wife is worried about the husband, attracting other women, so they put both their names on the internet. Two cases I know. So they don't just put the husband alone or the wife alone. They have them both together. This one, husband, that's the husband's name, wife's name together, so they don't get any problems. So yes, Lord Chaitanya gives instructions in Chaitanya Chaitamrita. My dear Lord, here someone asked Lord Chaitanya, being a householder and materialistic man, I don't know the process of advancing in spiritual life. I therefore submit myself to your lotus feet, request you to give me orders. So Lord Chaitanya said, Prabhu Kohan Krishna Seva Vaishnava Sevan Nirantara Koro Krishna Nama Sankirtan. Lord Chaitanya said, without cessation, continue chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna. Whenever possible, serve him and his devotees. So one Grihasta asked Srila Prabhupada, one Grihasta couple, we are Grihasta, what should we do? So Srila Prabhupada said, before you eat your lunch, go outside your door and call out, is anyone hungry? 3 times. And then you feed them first and then you eat. So he asked the question again, 2nd time, what should we do? Prabhupada said the same thing. He asked the 3rd time, what shall we do? Prabhupada said the same thing, go out your door before lunch. And so they did that, and the brahmacharis heard about it. And so the brahmacharis used to hide in the bushes, and they would call out, and the brahmacharis said, we're hungry. And they would go for lunch. So anyway, yeah, that was Srila Prabhupada's advice to Grihastas. What is your duty as a Grihasta? And so yes, also, yeah, this is Lord Chaitanya and Srila Prabhupada's advice. And so we're all very fortunate because we have, Krishna consciousness, and we can act in that way with each other. And then we will surely be successful. So I'll stop here. If anyone has any questions, comments on this, you can ask at this time. Yes.
Today I was
Yeah.
Yeah, I have this question. I mean, I'm not a Grihastha, but
Oh.
I live not in a Grihastha ashram outside.
Are you living in a Grihastha with Grihasthas?
But I have this question during the time it occurs sometimes that these relationships between devotees, I mean, you focus more on
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Relationship. In general, relationships are often, how to say, faced with this trouble that, how to say, one has to arrange, one has to adjust, or to manage several things. And very quickly in the mind or in the habit, the custom, it appears to become how to say, a forth and back of commanding and how to say, serving each other and so on. And then often what happens is that the false ego or this how to say, this habit to stand over the other person, so to say, takes place. And how to say?
So you're talking about relationships with devotees, and sometimes there are conflicts because your false ego or their false ego, yeah, the false ego gets the upper hand, and then you can't relate, you can't cooperate. So what shall we do? How you deal with it?
In a service mood or in a mood of a servant for Krishna together, and not to.
You stay in a service mood. Yeah, well, there is a course that can be taught in your temple, nonviolent communication. It teaches you how to hear each other. That's the first step. We don't often hear what the other person is saying, and we don't want to hear what the other person is saying. So they teach you, first thing is how to hear. And so hearing means, you hear, they say something, you repeat it. Oh, so you're saying that you're feeling like this is it. And then they also have to do that too, to you. And so, yeah, you have to hear. And then there is also conflict resolution that you can learn also, how to resolve conflicts. And so they teach you how to, usually you want something, they want something, but it doesn't agree. So then you brainstorm together and write down all the things, all the ways that you can do that thing, and just brainstorm like any wild idea. That you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And then you choose the ones that you both agree on, you both brainstorm, and then you make it. And in the nonviolent communication also, they teach you, like if you're kind of overwhelmed, somebody's like bullying you or something, and you don't know how to speak to them. It teaches you how to speak to them also, how to make your voice known in case somebody else is like bullying you. Yeah, and yeah, it's very nice, and it's helpful to learn techniques. Mostly the problems with a lot with marriage and outside of marriage is communication. That you can't communicate with each other, and even I took part of a course in what is it, marriage life, how you can relate with each other. And it's not only what you say, it's how you say it, the tone of voice. The tone of voice you say, where are you going? Or, someone goes out the door, husband or wife, where are you going? Or else, oh, where are you going? Like you kind of, anyway, so these courses are helpful for devotees because we have no training. We don't know how to be good people. We're in Kali Yuga, and it's the age of quarrel, and everything around us is making us fight. It's just in the atmosphere. It's just in the air, and you see now all of these wars going on. It's just in the air of Kali Yuga that people are fighting and bombing each other, and so of course with devotees it's not that bad, but still. You can learn techniques. And for the marriages too, you can, Grihasta Vision of ISKCON, Grihasta team, they have very nice courses that you can take. Even if you're already married or you're not married, you can take them and learn how to behave or how to make it easier to live in that way. Yeah, I would say the courses are good. Devotees need it. They do need these, techniques, because if they can't, then yeah, I know. One example recently happened. one devotee went to a temple and they beat him up just because they didn't agree with him. So it can get extreme. It can be extreme. You have to be careful. You have to be very careful and try to learn how to speak properly with other people. You have to hear, that's it, that's the main thing. You repeat what they say. Okay, so anyway. Yeah, you just repeat. You try to hear what they're saying. So you say we should do it like this. They say, yes, that's what I say. And then you can say, but well, I feel we should do it like this. And then they have to say, oh, you feel like this. And then it helps. It helps that you've heard each other. You have heard what they say. If somebody is really angry, then something you can do is say, you're talking so fast, I really can't understand what you're saying. You have to please talk slower. And that kind of cools them down. Also, there's a lot of techniques you can learn. So any other question?
I still have after years in Krishna consciousness, some problems with this, how to address someone as Mataji and Brahman.
You have a problem?
No, I still have this problem. I can't say to everyone Brahman. And with this Mataji, I also have a problem. So I don't know. It's from beginning on, when I joined, I I'm also observing it now when there are different kinds of gurus also in our movement. Some are more conservative. They say one that everyone is Prabhu and Mataji. Others say, oh, Vaishnavas. So I don't know. Maybe you can say something.
Yeah, I would just say, it is a personal thing. And you can choose how you would, you can tell somebody, well, can you please call me like this? I mean, you can tell them, okay, I feel a little funny if you say like this. I mean, you tell how you feel when they call you Mataji. Yeah, I feel, and this is part of a nonviolent communication. You say, when you call me Mataji, I feel like, I don't know what you feel like, what you say. And would it be possible for you to call me Vaishnavi or whatever you want? Like some of my god sisters, they want the whole name, Narayani Devi Dasi, but actually the real Indian culture, I lived in a village in India, and I can tell you what the culture is and how you're supposed to address the ladies. And when I lived in the village, they don't call you by name. They say, my son's name, Govinda's mother. And you say, oh, yeah, my son. Well, you remember your son, and you're so happy. And this is in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the mother of Lord Chaitanya. There's another, Sarvabhauma's wife had a daughter named Shati. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, they call her Shati's mother, Shati Ma. So it's very sweet. Oops. Yeah, I lived in India 52 years. And so 5 of those years I lived in a village in Goa and on the beach. And I felt so nice when they called me by my son's name. I said, oh, because I love my son. And I'd hear his name. I said, oh yeah, Govinda. So that was my feeling. And I don't care what anybody else calls me because I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. They can call me Mataji, they can call me Prabhu, they can call me whatever. But if it's too much for you, then you should make your voice known and just have a humble request. I humbly request you, can you call me like this? But if they have their own way, just okay, let them do what they want. Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't that's how I go one place, I'm Mataji, another place, I'm Prabhu, another place, I'm Vaishnavi. Okay, because I travel all over the world. In India, I'm Mataji. Okay, fine. I am a mother. I'm Mataji. Yes, I have a son. So, anyway. Okay, any other? Yes.
Thank you very much for the lecture. My question is, how can we have a good communication when we communicate with a second language and not with our mother?
Oh, second, yeah, that's a big problem.
I'm not talking about marriage, I'm talking
No, I know what you mean. Oh, that can be. Second language is very difficult. So you really have to be careful. You know what you're saying, and they know what you're saying. Because if they got the wrong idea, or if you say the wrong thing, then you can fight. And I've been in such situations where I have to translate. No, that's not what they're saying. This is what they're saying. You know. So you have to be careful.
I cannot express myself so nicely in English, so I can more
you're pretty good, I would say. Right. Well, you're pretty good. I would even say you could translate with your English. You have good English. Yeah, so you have to be careful. They understand when you're speaking. If there's a question, like if you say something and someone starts getting angry, you say, "Oh, what did you think I said?" You know, or if they get hurt or something, then you see how people relate to what you say. And if they feel angry or hurt or something, then you have to say, "Oh, what did you think I said?" You know? Yeah, I've seen this happen. I would have to translate for second language people. Okay, any other questions? Yes.
Also said that a woman is never independent.
Right. Right.
Protection from
Father, son, or what is it? Father, son, husband, father, son, husband. Correct.
So how should we understand that she's not independent? Is the man independent and the wife dependent on the man?
How is she not independent? Is that your question? How is she not? Well, in Kali Yuga, there are many independent women. But the advice is that she shouldn't be independent because we see what happens here. If the men think a woman is independent, then they want to enjoy with her. So if you if you are living outside and not a devotee, of course, and you wear the short skirts or the tight pants or whatever, and it seems like the men are saying, "Oh, yes, okay, let's enjoy." And so, but women, yeah. Also, I see with as a woman that you do need companionship. You do need, like when you're a child, you need your father, and when and then you need it's nice. You feel nice to have a social life, and when you're old like me, it's good to have children because, and then and that was the qualification for a woman group. And my son wrote a beautiful letter. Oh, I'm so happy my mom is preaching. I'll protect her. Don't worry. And they said, okay. So yeah, but as devotees, we have protection of ISKCON. That's where I feel also I'm protected by ISKCON, protected by the GBC, protected by Prabhupada. So I don't act independently of that. Although people have advised me, GBCs have said, no, you just go initiate independent. I said, no. If I do that, I won't be protected. I want to be protected by the GBC, by ISKCON. So it means, that you have relationship. You have relationship. You feel like, okay, I have this. I have my son. I have my husband. I have my father. And like the men don't really have that feeling so much. Oh, I have my daughters. I have my wife. Though some are, some do. So it's not black and white. It's not black and white. You have another question?
So is it the same? I mean, there are many kinds of independence.
Right.
Only
Oh,
independence to wear a Japanese work,
Yeah.
how there's a relationship, a woman can decide maybe to learn a profession.
Right,
The
but
husband might say, no, you don't learn a profession, you raise your children,
mm,
and I go to work.
right.
But in general, it's not like that.
No, it's not. Well, I find in Kali Yuga,
They have their own decision to decide things, but it seems to be that if you take it directly, there's no independence.
yeah,
She can never decide independently.
yeah.
Ask her husband.
Well,
Husband can also decide independently. Never.
Yeah. Well, you need to encourage your wife to do things that make her happy. So you see, oh, will this help my wife be happy? If she's at home and she's not happy, it will be difficult for you. But if she's happy to go, main thing is you have to see each other's wishes and try to make them happy. But as far as the husband and the wife, what you're saying is she should listen to the husband. So one of my godbrothers, Vishal, he went to Prabhupada and he said, Prabhupada, my wife is not listening to me. And Prabhupada said, you should be so arrogant that you want her to listen. So that was Prabhupada. And he was preaching to one Indian lady on one morning walk, and I know Hindi. So she was saying, husband, I need husband. And Prabhupada said, no, you just need husband for bacha, for kids. You have kids. That's okay, if you can have Krishna also. An Indian lady who's in the culture. And Prabhupada said, no, you need them just to have children, and that's what you need the husband for. So, anyway, you need to encourage the wife to do what makes her happy. And if you don't, you're going to be in trouble. If you keep her at home, stuck, and she wants to go out and do something, then you won't have a happy life. There's a funny cartoon. The genie came out of the bottle, and he asked the man, so what do you want? He said, well, I want you to build me a bridge from Hawaii to the mainland of USA. And then the genie said, oh, that's very difficult. You have another wish. He said, yeah, I want you to help me please my wife. And then the genie said, okay, let's do the bridge. Okay. So you have to know a few things. Basically you have to encourage each other to do their best. You see their talents, and that is a real household life. You encourage the wife to also do her best for Krishna. If she wants to, you need to listen to her and you need to discuss it, okay, you want to go out, well, what about this, you won't have time for the kids. Actually, it's funny you should ask that, because I get wives who say, my husband, he won't work, and I have to do all the household work, take care of the kids, and work. And so that's lucky she got a husband like that, who wants to work and support her. So that's a real boon in Kali Yuga. We can't find boys like that for our young girls, boys who will take responsibility and maintain their wives. But anyway, there needs to be open discussion. And there's one area of compatibility between husband and wife is your ability to discuss things openly and honestly with each other. You tell how you feel, she tells how she feels about it, and then you brainstorm, well, part-time, maybe you can work part-time, or something, and whatever. You just need to thoughtfully try to help each other to live so they'll be happy.
Who has the last word?
What? Who has? Oh, I'll tell you, I just saw a video. About a man and husband and wife who were married for 50 years. And so the interviewer asked him, what's your secret? How are you married for 50 years? So the husband said, the first day, my wife's right. The second day, my wife is also right. And then the third day, I'm wrong. So there you go. That's our secret of 50 years marriage. There you go. So if you want to That's the advice of a man married for 50 years. That, okay? And the video, we can even send it to you if you want. Don't show it to your wife. Anyway, Hare Krishna, glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.